Hello. Welcome everyone. Welcome to Perspective. This is a safe place, a safe tree, if you will. If you're not familiar with the show and you're just curious about what Perspective is about, it can be found right there in the name. Perspective. This is a place that we have open discussions about a myriad of different topics, and we come to find out that whenever you're having conversations, people have different opinions, different points of views, different lived experiences, if you will, and you kind of find yourself on opposite ends of that topic or that discussion. However, what we try to advocate for is having that discussion. That doesn't necessarily mean that that person is correct and you are wrong, or that you're correct and that person is wrong. It simply means that your position, your experiences, your opinion, your perspective is simply different. And when we can talk about our differences, we'll often find out that we have more in common than not. And when we can do that, that brings us closer together as individuals and ultimately brings us closer together as a community and then brings us closer together as a world. And when we do that, that is what we aim to do here on Perspective. So feel free to comment, share your opinions, your perspective, and your lived experiences. And what you'll find is often that you will help other individuals when you do that. You'll find out that you're not alone, and they'll know that someone else is either going through or working through the same thing, and that is healing in itself. My name is Eric Butler, aka the Intellect, aka Cullinan 8, because I'm the biggest diamond ever found on land, aka the Atlantic, because I'm cold, deep, and choppy, and it ain't nothing nobody can do about it. I have a background in talent acquisitions, staffing, if you will. I've been doing that for about 2 decades. That has lent me the opportunity to, help people in their careers. So doing career counseling. It has me sitting on the advisory board for a financial literacy nonprofit called the Empower Series, where I kind of use my skills and experience in helping individuals if they're making career transitions, which also connects to their money. So that's how that happened. And I just really enjoy sharing, the things that I've learned over time to try to give people, tools, resources, information, and most importantly, inspiration to not just survive, but to thrive. With that being said, it has led me into this seat where I'm sitting before you now, and I'm honored. And it has also connected me to I say, my co-hostess with the mostest. She is often imitated, but never duplicated. They try to be like her, but they fail every single time. She is the sharpest tool in the shed, and I will pass the mic over and allow her to introduce herself.
Hello, 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 everyone. Yay. It's Thursday. We made
A
it to
hundred, a
Thursday.
hundred, yeah.
I just want to say thank you so much for being here, because we recognize that you could be anywhere else on this fabulous Thursday evening, but you are here with us. My name is Latoya, aka Chef Jeff's wife, aka them kids' mama. Chef Jeff has a show also on the BS3 network that is called This Dope Cooking Show. It comes on Tuesdays at 5:30. He's been doing like a soup series. Y'all should definitely check that out, even though I think the weather's about to warm up. Whatever, it was cold. Let's see. I am a licensed professional counselor, author, speaker, co-host. And then
Mm-hmm.
I also have an audio only podcast called Say More About That. It is on all streaming services to include Spotify, Apple, Audible. Somebody told me they found me on Audible, which I thought was very cool. Podbean, Good Pods, all the places. I
All the
hope you will
places.
check it out.
I'll definitely do that. Hey, and this dope cooking show, man, make sure you've already eaten or you have something prepared or you're going to be preparing what is being shown on the show. Because if not, stomach grumbling, your salivary glands will be kicked up and then you'll be sitting there frustrated.
Okay, with an
And
attitude.
yes, with an attitude. Not just saying that because it's been tasted and tried and it is true. I'm just saying. Man, something in the way the seasoning be right. You got something in his wrist. Whoever that dude that do this like this, he got competition on this side of the river is what I'm saying. But this dope cooking show 5:30 is on 5:30 Tuesdays at 5:30. Definitely check that out. Definitely check that out. So we'll kind of move into what we're talking about. Uh, Doc has, because she kind of let in and let you know that she's a licensed therapist. And so our topic tonight kind of surrounds around that. Um, and I said I would start the fight. I said I would start
Let's
the
do it.
I'm I will definitely do that. So what we're talking about tonight, I'll bring that up, and boom. So the title of tonight's show, it's mental health awareness, because everybody's all about that. And is it a tool, or tool versus a shield? And so we'll dig into that a little bit more. And so I'll introduce it like this. So I'm just going to throw the first punch. And I feel that, and here's the thing, I'm a big proponent and an advocate of mental health, being aware of it, and also the industry that has been created for it. I think we don't have enough. And I will go ahead and put it on record to say minority therapists and counselors. And so,
Only like 6 or 7%.
man,
Maybe 11 now. It's low.
but it needs to grow. But another thing, it is not for everybody. Uh, and
Amen.
the reason that I do brag on Latoya, the therapist, is because she definitely brings, I think, the perfect balance of what's needed. Of course, you have to keep it very clinical. You see that in our intro, but she also keeps it very, very real. It's someone who can land a blow without hurting you. That's the way I kind of describe it, because truth can do that, and 'cause love, facts, truth can sting and they can hurt. But someone who can do that and then put the salve back on it real quick and help you see the revelation so you can get better. Doc definitely has that gift. So I think it's more of a calling than just a job that she took on. However, just like most things in society, they start off with the right tenant. They do well, and then it spreads in popularity, and then you always got somebody crying wolf. So in my opinion, the first punch that I'm saying is I think that it has been hijacked, and many people use mental health and the tenets of it more as an excuse to kind of avoid their responsibility, their accountability of becoming tougher, and we'll dig into that, and then I'll let Doc kind of respond to that. Now, to your defense, Doc, I think the act of this is putting more pressure or taking away the importance of mental health. I think it is watering down the power of it. It's impacting negatively the industry and the professionals within it.
Mm. Okay, so before we go into this, let me give you a disclaimer. I am a therapist, not your therapist, unless we have paperwork,
Hmm.
payment method in place. Okay. Eric and I will be speaking from our lived experience, education, all the things. We are not talking about what's currently going on in our personal right now life, unless we say currently I am experiencing. We know that your sister's homegirl cousin had the same situation and it worked out well for her. We love her. We're not talking about her. We are talking about the majority. I just want to get that out the way. And
Yeah.
before we start talking about mental health being used or abused or the people not taking accountability, we got to start the definition because that's just how I roll. Like for everybody to be on the same page. And so when we are speaking about mental health, we are talking about our overall emotional and psychological, and it's another one, social well-being. It affects how we think, it affects how we feel, and it impacts how we behave. So just like everybody has physical health, every single person has mental health and it fluctuates. Sometimes you up, sometimes you're down, sometimes you're good, sometimes you're not because life is going to life. That is
Hmm.
mental health. Mental illness is something different. Mental illness is a diagnosed condition that significantly impairs or impacts a person's thoughts, emotions, behaviors, how they interact with each other, how they relate to other people. And so this can include anxiety, depression, bipolar, post traumatic stress disorder, schizophrenia. They are not the same.
What about
Everybody has mental health.
What
Everybody
about
does not have a mental illness.
habitual lying? How about faking the phone? How about always being manipulative and
I mean, that's
always
in there too
being playing the
somewhere.
victim? Can we diagnose that?
Yeah, I'm sure we could. We won't
Yeah, we
today,
need
but
to.
I'm
We need
sure
to
we
come up.
could.
Doc, we're gonna talk about that. We need to come up with a diagnosis for
Like a
that.
personality disorder.
What most people call that boom.
Oh,
That's what I said it
okay.
because it
So
goes down. Yeah, go ahead.
to your point, has mental illness become a crutch? Yes, that's why I don't tell people what I diagnosed them with. Because what you're not
Mm,
gonna do is be out here like, "Ooh, my bipolar acting up." I will never forget. I was a baby therapist, honey. I had no idea what I was doing, and I cannot believe they let me loose on the people. But we figured it out.
baby therapist is crazy. But go
I was
ahead.
like a baby therapist, like newborn, like fresh out of school. Y'all just finna let me play in these people's head. Oh, okay.
That's why I'm like baby therapist, and that's a real
Nobody
thing.
supervised me. Nobody.
That's scary thought. But go ahead.
They let me watch somebody's intake, and then they was like, "Okay, have a good day." Like in community mental health, and if y'all don't understand what community mental health is the last step on the left.
The
So
last
these
step
people,
on the left.
that's it. These people are typically like low socioeconomic status, high acuity mental health, like schizophrenia. I had a man who would like he would have to like peek in my office and like tap 3 times before it just was wild. But anyway, I will never forget being a baby therapist. And that lady said, yeah, and so then I just started hitting her. Like I just started beating her up. I said, "Oh, like physically, like actually?" She was like, "Yeah, my bipolar was acting up."
Your
Okay.
bipolar was
Okay.
acting up. So right from the jump, you was experiencing this. Boo.
I was because,
Boo.
ma'am, your bipolar is not acting up. You mad, you aggressive, and you don't have no impulse control. Now, lack of impulse control is definitely a sign of bipolar, but it's not an excuse to beat somebody up.
That right there.
So a
That
lot of times, if my clients don't ask, I won't tell them what I diagnosed them with. Why? Why you want to know?
and so maybe what I'm this because I think they use that and like you gave a perfect example of that. And so that's really what I'm trying to call people out on that. Like it's a lack of mental toughness, and it's impacting the mental health profession.
Hold on, we're
Now
going
in it
too far. We're going too far. It's not. No,
mm,
no. We're
I'm
going too
just
far. We're going too far.
well, I think would you well I'm thinking the lack of mental well, okay, I'm gonna let you clarify me, and that's what I said. I threw the first
The
punch.
lack of mental toughness is crazy. Like you can have a mental illness and that has nothing to do with
well
your
well
mental toughness.
well you can have a mental illness, and well that's okay. The people that are mentally ill, let's take them off the plate. Okay,
Okay, so
there's
like the real mentally ill people, we're not talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. I'm not
Okay,
talking about them because
okay.
they have a mental illness. I'm not talking
Right.
about those. They good, and I have real world 1-on-1 long term years of experience with someone who has who was diagnosed with the mental illness.
Okay.
Okay, with paranoid schizophrenia, and I'm gonna tell you something. It's real. I don't care. I know that there's some real things going on out there. So I'm not even talking about those individuals. I'm talking about the individuals who, like, when I talk about mental toughness, I'm talking about their lack of resiliency or their lack of emotional regulation,
Okay.
and the ability to cope with adversity. And
Hmm.
they just, I believe they use that to hide and run away from the responsibility. And I think it plays a crucial role in and you can correct me if I'm wrong, personal growth, how productive they're going to be, and as you said, to repeat what you said, their overall well-being. Because without it, everybody struggles to make it through life. And what I will get more into, and it's inevitable challenges. Because you said life,
Hmm.
what did you how you said? You said because life be lifing.
Yeah, life
And
gonna life every
yeah.
time.
And so when life is lifing, to use your term, I feel that not I feel, but I've experienced, I've witnessed, and I think it's on record if you go do the research as I did, that it's impacting the mental health profession, because people are setting boundaries, and they're tagging other people with labels, but it's really just their attempts to avoid responsibility and accountability for, as what did you say, the lady? You like, no, you're angry and you just have impulse control problems. So it's not that your bipolar was acting up.
Because what does
You,
that even mean?
yes, you were acting up because you were
Okay,
act upper.
let's hit the comments.
Alexis Butler says, "Hey, beautiful people." Well, hey, beautiful
Hi, how are
you.
you?
Yeah, that's my baby bird, one of my favorite people. She just, running a business, taking care of business, and doing modeling a little bit. She got requested for that. I'm just saying. Alexis Butler
Okay,
says,
congrats.
no, no, no clinicals.
Girl, let me tell you something. I applied for a master's level because I had a master's degree. So I applied for a master's level clinician. Them people let me watch an intake. They showed me how to use the system and they gave me a caseload.
They like, go get it, go and get it.
have, have a great time. And I was supposed to
Oh,
have supervision every week, but because it's community mental health and it goes down, and I worked at the ghetto one, not the nice
them
one. I
people
worked
did
in the
not
hood.
want to come do it, huh?
Baby, it wasn't even that they couldn't. It was always a crisis. So
Wow.
sometimes I got some supervision, sometimes I didn't.
Hey, and this is a sidebar, and I'm gonna read the next comment. Here's the thing. This all of that I was saying earlier, everyone, about how Doc has this balance and that she's really good at what she does. This I didn't even have this backstory. This is why you're good at what you do. Because you got thrown into the deep end
I
right off
did.
the cuff. Because if you
Oh,
if
before that, I
anyone,
worked in a prison. It was wild.
yeah, if you don't have what it takes to make it, yeah, I'm telling you. So if you know somebody who need it, want it, this is not a dry plug on Latoya because she's my co-host. Like, like for real.
But don't
Like
come see me unless you want the hard questions because people be getting
that
mad.
that part,
And I'd
that
be like,
part.
did you not read my bio? I said I was direct. What's wrong?
Yeah, I don't think it'd just be conversation. I think it'd be homework involved.
And sometimes
You're
I'm
gonna
not
get
real big on homework because then I got to remember to check it.
I'm just gonna let that sit there. So
So
Alexis Buller
unless
said,
unless it's like deep and beneficial, like this somebody homework right here, I have to write it down for me and you so I can remember to ask. But otherwise, nah. Sometimes people be needing
sometimes
homework, but
they
sometimes
don't
they
need it
don't.
right. I got you. Understood. Alexis Butler says, my bipolar was acting up. Is
That lady
crazy.
said that to me. I will never forget that.
I see. And meant it too. Said it with their whole heart, with belief in their heart. So think
Baby,
about
she
them
was
walking
like,
through. Hey man, it's my because see, when you can blame it on something, it takes you like I'm not responsible for how I acted, or I'm not responsible for what I did, what I said,
because my
what I
bipolar acting up.
yeah, that right there. So that's a problem. That's a problem. And I take it a little personal. I'm not saying I've been personally affected by it, but maybe indirectly. And I think I have witnessed individuals, use it flippantly and in my opinion, in the wrong space, place, and way. Because they didn't use the words my bipolar was acting up, but they definitely have labeled other people, used their setting boundaries because I'm trying to protect my peace, things like that. And
I
I'm like,
believe in that. I do. And even if,
how
because here's the
I
thing. Here's the
okay,
thing.
go ahead.
Even if this person is wrong,
Hmm.
even if they're wrong, if they choose to disengage under the guise of protecting their peace, they actually just protected yours. Because now you don't have to get worked up and try to tell them, no, you're not holding yourself accountable. You're da 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 da. No, they protected their peace and yours. And so to that, I say sometimes people are not in a place to grow. People are not in a place where they're ready, able, and willing to see themselves. And you do yourself a disservice by trying to force that. Let them people
Mm,
protect their peace, even if it's overprotection.
I got you.
Mhm.
Um, I can't agree with that. When I hear sound, um, it's very logical, sound information. The thing that comes to me is I'm thinking about circumstance situations where okay, they may want to remove themselves or they say I'm protecting my peace. But if I'm engaged with, like, they need to follow through with what it is that we're doing, and you're using that to get out of that, which is making my life hard, I don't reap the benefits of them disengaging in this moment.
So let's read this comment, and then I'm gonna have you give me a
Yeah.
real life example, and then I'm gonna tell
Okay.
you what to do. Okay, go.
Okay. Alexis Butler says, I thought deeply about it and said, I'm not ready for Doc. Just
Here's the thing. I be cutting, but it's really from love because I just feel like by the time you done made your appointment, by the time you was like, okay, let me find her link, let me fill out her paperwork, let me show up. By the time you've gotten there, you don't need me to. I'm gonna babysit you the first time, but after that, we cutting. What's up? What we doing? What's going on?
right.
Here's why. Everybody else in your life, not her life in particular because you her daddy, but most people have yes man in their lives and nobody else is checking you. That's how come you haven't made any change. Nobody else has challenged you. Nobody else has said the hard thing because they love you, they care, and they care about your feelings and they don't want to hurt you and they don't want the relationship to change. I don't care. You came here because you said you wanted to heal. You came here because you said you wanted to change, and that's what we're doing. And I'm not for everybody.
Bars. Get it. Come get this work. I don't
No,
want
for
to
real.
hear it.
That's what my client be saying.
Wipe your face.
When she refer people to me, she'd be like, "Now hold on, you gonna get this work? This work for everybody." Yeah, let them know.
It's smoky in there. Wear a gas mask because it's gonna
What
be
it is.
flames. Like, let me stop. See how you got me doing. See how you got me doing.
Yeah, like
so you said you wanted a real world example.
Yeah, give me a real world example where someone can't pull out under the guise of protecting their peace. Because if we're talking about at work, fire them. What you mean? Like, you protecting your peace, I'm protecting mine. Thank you. Have a good day. Because if you can't deliver on your deliverables, that's when people get fired.
Mm-hmm. And you're 100% correct. And I am. And the example I would have would be in the workplace. And here's where it gets more difficult. Individuals may not want to be fired, and they produce a certain level of work. That they produce a certain level of work. It's like, it's not quite where I can just, hey, let me right up out of here. Or you may be in a protected class. And if you make moves on that, then you run the risk of being sued, or you run the risk of having to pay them folks and they're not doing any work whatsoever. I'll go ahead. I'll let you interject.
Okay, so that's where the power of the pen comes into play.
I hear you.
So if I told Sally, if I said, hey, make this phone call, this is a part of your job. I'm your supervisor and I'm telling you make this phone call. And then Sally says, oh my gosh, I can't make this phone call because I'm protecting my peace. Your peace is your paycheck. Please make this phone call. They don't make the phone call. I start documenting.
She said, your peace is your paycheck.
And so, like, maybe because...
Wait, did you say your peace is your paycheck?
Because I just don't... I guess because I've never...
Are we saying you need to choose your peace or you need to choose this paycheck? Which one are we saying?
Depending on who you are. Take what you need. Take what you need. But and I guess because I've never been that audacious, and when people tell me, like, if I work for a company and my company says I got to do 1, 2, 3, even if I hate it, now sometimes I'm gonna do 3, 2, 1 because I'm a little rebellious, but I'm gonna get it done because I work here,
right?
And my peace needs to come every 2 weeks on Friday,
right. And I'm telling you, there is a segment of individuals who I can't wrap my mind around it. And I have witnessed it and seen it. Like, they really have, just like the woman that was like, man, my bipolar was acting up.
Right. It was crazy.
Man, they will be like, I need a mental health break. No.
Yes. Yeah. No, I believe in that. Let them take.
Hold on. Let me unload my wagon. I'm telling you, just like you said, there are real people with real illnesses. I get that. I'm telling you, not what I think. I'm only going to speak what I know. They did not need a mental health break. Now, this is what I understand. Eric, how do you know they really didn't need a mental health break? Eric, are you in their brain? Did you walk around and say, oh, what are the signs that they didn't need it or they did need it? But just as much as you don't know, I'm going to say this. I am not so obtuse. My co-host is a licensed therapist and a damn good one. If y'all think I haven't had moments, life wasn't lifing on me, and even not even intentionally, have a conversation with Doc, and she has told me, like, Eric, this is the case, or I may say I'm feeling this. No, it's not this, and she, with all love, she'd be like, no, it's just that you won't blah 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 blah. I was like, yeah, that's what that is. So I'm not so obtuse that I know when someone's playing me. When someone is like, I don't want to do this work. If I can get out of here for the next 30 or 40 minutes, I'll come back. I only have to do this much and then I can go home. Or by the time I get back, the team has already done this and I don't have to participate anymore. This is a real thing that
Oh,
happens.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So my point is, I've seen, and that's just one example, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? When it comes to relationships, when it comes to just being out
Stay
in
here. Stay here.
okay,
Stay on this example.
I will. So, in the workplaces where I've seen it more poignantly, or I'm like, yeah, flag on the play. Because they'll say they need a mental health break, but then why you just outside on the phone? I'm just going to take a walk. I have to disconnect 8 times a day. No, you need to go get medical help because you can't even do your job.
So, several things. Everybody's mental health break doesn't look the same. And just because they didn't go and go woo some doesn't mean they weren't taking a mental health break. They could have been calling their therapist because I definitely see people on their lunch break. They could have been calling their friend. I mean, and they could have been playing. I'm not there. You know these people. I don't.
I'm I'm saying they
But
playing
I would always err on the side of
side of that they
caution.
needed it, and
If
we
these people
did.
say they need
Yeah.
a mental health break, whether you think they playing or not, you got to give it to them. But this is what you do. If they're avoiding calling Sally, nobody calls Sally. We just gonna go around and do other things because your mental health break ain't but 40 minutes. So when you come back, call Sally.
What is? Wait. You said 40 minutes. Is that an industry
Well,
standard?
that
Like,
was the number that you gave.
okay, I got you. Go
Yes,
ahead.
I was just going with your example.
I feel you.
Yeah. So they gone 30, 40 minutes. They come back. Here you go. Call Sally. Well, now they can't take another one because they just took it. Now it becomes insubordination. Or if we need 8 mental health breaks a day, that's cool. But your therapist needs to write you. We need some paperwork.
It would no, and that was so. To your point, that became, of course, that's the move that was, HR was like, okay, if you're going to be doing this, we need to have
We need
documentation that
paperwork.
this is necessary, how often it's going to be, and then what you do is, and this is off the topic, but and just to let you know that it wasn't something that, like, we're devoid just standing there like, what are we going to do? No, when you write your job descriptions, you need to be a little bit more detailed and understand what the requirements are and give yourself a way to address those type of things now, because you can't ask people those things. Like, I found out, another example is just in the middle of just walking behind somebody, and they flip out almost like, man, don't we coming up behind, like, want to fight. Now, I'm gonna be honest, the professional, um Eric Butler, did the he sat to the side, and the Atlantic came out like, say, man, you know, hey, balling up your fist. I said, don't, man, you need to calm down right now. And then in a blur, it's like, man, my, you know, traumatic stress, it's,
PTSD.
yeah, PSTD. It's
Stop
it's
acting old. PTSD.
PTSD. I just didn't want to say it out loud because
I know. That's
I'm
how
just,
old people
I'm
be
just,
acting.
your ABC acting up, or no, I'm just PTSD, post traumatic stress syndrome. I know what it is,
I
but
know you
then,
do.
and when they said it, I'm like, because then I'm like, man, one, you didn't divulge it when you started. Who knew? Nobody knew, and now all these accommodations have to be made based off of that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you really not going to be able to do this position. And I'm like, okay, now you're going to use that to get out of anything that you deem uncomfortable. Now everything agitates your trauma. I'm like everything. But when we but if you're doing something off site, you don't. And I'm serious. So now since I'm the victim of use up, okay, so I'm watching you. People come up doing 10 times worse than what I was doing, walking up behind you, putting their arm on your shoulder, getting your attention, and you just regular. I'm like, so is it just me that only agitates your
Well, you are big.
PTSD? Is that
Tall.
what it? I
I'm
said,
saying tall.
no. Say again.
I said, well, you are big, but I'm saying tall.
No,
I'm saying tall. I'm not.
Doc.
I'm not talking about
She's
your
such
weight.
an advocate, such an advocate. What I'm
I
saying,
am, because
I
what you
know it is.
this what
It
you
is.
don't understand. Let me tell you something. This is what people don't understand. People be thinking mental illness is like the homeless people talking to themselves.
I
No,
don't
like
think
it
that
looks
it
just like
it could be
us.
very subtle. Like I'm 100% into that. I really really believe that. That is why I feel the way I feel. Like, don't play with that.
I agree.
What you
Don't
what you
stop
do
playing.
is you're making it difficult for individuals who really suffer from this, who really need those
That is
mental
true.
health breaks, who really do have anxieties, man, because you got somebody snuck up on you and got scared, man. You come on, don't do that. Like, you're
Yeah.
in violation. This is why I'm bringing up that point, and we can get into some deeper aspects of it on what else the problems I think it creates.
Oh, I got
Um,
one.
but go ahead.
So on a systematic level, I remember when I used to could write a letter and say, I've been seeing this patient since this day. We done had this many sessions. This is their diagnosis. They need this. Now, and I done had to start charging people because y'all want too much of my time. I'm spending like
Got
45
the
minutes on
breath and the
paperwork.
lean back. She said, "This is
Like,
so no,
why is
really.
my
I
word not good enough? So, like on a systematic level, like
You know
my
why?
work increases because people be taking
Like,
advantage. I hear you,
man,
but
taking
I just
advantage,
can't.
lying. Man, come on now.
I just always got to get. I had a really, really, really traumatic situation. Like, you know how I always say my work husband died. Like, my work husband completed suicide. You never would have known. Like, we didn't see it coming.
Right.
And because he used to be my coworker, then he got promoted and he was my boss and blah blah blah. He came to my wedding, like all of this, like right, like I loved him appropriately, platonically.
Right.
His ex-wife is still my friend. We still chat on Facebook. Well, I guess his widow, yeah, his
Right.
widow is still my friend. Like, we check in on Facebook from time to time. But whatever. I didn't see it coming. Granted, this was at the place where I was still a baby therapist, but I had been there like 3 or 4 years at this point, right? So I am always going to err on the side of caution. And I would rather you be playing with me than I miss it.
100%. I can respect that. I
Every
can
time.
respect
If
that.
you said that your PTSD said don't walk behind you, I never walk behind you again.
And ask me how I handled it.
How did you handle it?
Never walked behind him again. Always got his attention from a distance. Said, "Hey, is it okay?" And I had to catch myself because I was like, I don't want it to seem disingenuous. I respected what he said and I handled what he said. I respected what she said. I handled what she said.
Mm-hmm.
I respected them, what they said. I respected them, what they asked for. And I always do that. So I
I'm so
respect it.
down.
Yeah. Because I don't want anybody to come back. He was talking about me. No.
Now, see, I
I've
already
been I
told them at the beginning that we was
yeah,
talking
he
about
was
him.
talking about me. Like, man, I've been a recruiter for 20 years. I didn't work that. It's only like three jobs over the last 20 years. Like, no, I've been in enough places around enough people. Stop it. Stop it. But nevertheless, I always respect that. And I respect it. That's why I'm saying, hey, stop the cap. Chill out, quit playing with something so serious, because what you're doing is you're making it more difficult for the professionals, Doc just described it. Like, man, I gotta give them DNA. I gotta show them all of
Taking
my
them
records. I
progress
gotta show them
notes.
they've been visiting me. They've been visiting me for the last year.
They
Now I
want
gotta almost give
forms.
them cliff notes on the notes that I've taken. All of that. And it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? They're just making something that's very serious and making it more dangerous,
I
in
agree.
my opinion. In my opinion, in that
But
way.
here's the thing. I believe in karma, and I think that karma is very patient, and she got all our addresses. So if you are using mental health inappropriately, you're gonna get your karma. And I'm not God,
Stop
I'm
that.
not Jesus, I'm not Buddha, Brother Rock, Allah, nobody. Oh, happy Ramadan to the people. But anyway,
Happy
I'm not
Ramadan.
any you supposed to say Ramadan Mubarak. That's what you're supposed to say.
You said it for both of us. Both.
I did.
Both.
Yes, happy, Ramadan Mubarak to everybody celebrating the holy month of Ramadan. I
Yeah.
hope that you are doing so well and that you are getting the clarity from Allah that you need. Okay, but see, I'm not Allah, Buddha, Brother Rock. I'm none of them. So it's not my job to give you any karma based on what you're doing, right? And I
Yeah.
just believe that it's gonna come back around. You're gonna go to try to use your FMLA and you're gonna be done ran out, but you forgot. Or you're gonna go see a therapist. Your therapist is gonna see through the BS and they're not gonna fill out your paperwork. And now you lost your job. You know what I mean? Like
It's
you'll
gonna
get
come
there.
back. Yeah, do right.
Mhm.
Do right, man. Because it's just too much. It don't even make sense.
It
It's a
don't even have
waste
to
of
be all that.
it doesn't. It doesn't. But let me read the comment. Alexis Butler says, that was great. That was a great explanation, Doc, about protecting peace. I agree.
Thank
And then she says, we couldn't. What's up?
you. Let me just say,
We
I know it sounds a lot harsher when I say it like this, but I mean, my clients really be getting that help. They be gonna come get this work.
but
I am
that's
a
what it's
particular type of therapist for a particular type of client, and those that love me and have the honor and the privilege of saying that I am their therapist, it's they love me and they stay with me forever or until they're healed and they pop in, pop out, or they hate me and they have one session and they float off into the sunset.
I feel like, man, if they don't stick with you, Doc, they really didn't want healing. Or they wasn't hurt.
No, 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 no. I
That's
don't
what
think
I'm
that.
saying.
I don't
That's
think
I'm
that.
telling you. No, I'm saying what I think,
Oh, okay. I don't think that.
because I'm telling you, if you really want to, I'll liken it to this. If you really want to get in shape, you got it. Hey, I want to be muscle bound. I want to grow. You gonna have to go do that work, and it ain't gonna be easy.
It's
You're
not.
gonna have to cut some things off. You're going to have to make some real changes. You can't eat everything that you want to eat
Ooh,
when you want to eat it. When if you go exercise, your muscles will be sore. You're going to have
yes.
to endure that soreness.
Mm,
So real healing, real improvement hurts.
yeah. I tell people all the time, like, I think people have this beautiful aesthetic imagery of what they think healing is. They think it's like
They
filtered
call it.
water and yoga and laughter and aesthetics and wellness. And I think that at some point it is, but real healing is
Hmm.
ugly. It's ugly, it's tears, it's painful, it's cutting people off, it's setting boundaries, it's losing friends. It is a version of yourself that you're gonna dig through, look at, apologize to, and then let go. And then in some cases that person has to die. Like, it's not all yoga classes and meditation. That's part of it. That's
Yeah,
part of it. But real healing is ugly. Don't nobody talk about how when you get in your real healing bag and you really start doing the work and you start seeing people for who they are and what they are, and you don't want to be around them no more. But now you lonely because this is your friend group. Don't nobody want to talk about that. That's hard. It's
that
hard
start
to decide,
started.
like,
Yeah, starting
I'm
over
about to
is difficult.
change, but these my girls. I've been on them since second grade. Like, I love them.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you can hook up with them once a year and do your ratchet things. But this ain't your people no more. Like,
they
don't
not.
nobody talk about that. Nobody talks about when you
Hmm.
have to set boundaries with people. When people start calling you, telling you acting funny. When people start saying, "Oh, you think you're better than everybody." Everybody
Yeah.
can't handle that. Everybody don't have tough skin. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Healing is ugly. It's work. It's gritty. And you just got to get that thing. But it's beautiful on
And
the other side.
and that's my point. I'm saying they really don't want to, because the sad thing, they'll be like, let me just stay in the familiar because it's just too painful, it's too hard. or it may be taking too long. But I don't think it have to take long. Looking in the mirror, really looking at yourself for what you are and where you are. Now, don't and forgiving yourself is very difficult. That's
Acknowledging the role you played in your stress,
on.
depression, torment,
I
all
call it.
that's difficult.
I call it looking in the mirror, and when you look in the mirror and really seeing, you like that is
You
not
like,
you.
I'm the reason
I
I'm the
I
problem.
did. Oh, and you have to admit that. Oh, come on, man.
It's
Ugh.
hard.
If y'all can see, I've been there. I looked in the mirror. I was like, that
Same.
is me.
Same.
And then if you don't, and you have to look more often,
You
because
gotta
I
keep
there's
looking.
things that I've improved, and I look back, I'm like, that's regression. That looks like regression. Where you going?
Pull
Yeah,
up.
right. Right. Hold on. Go. Hey, let me go sit
Pull
down
up.
somewhere. Let me go
Yeah.
sit down somewhere. And
Let me
it's
go call
and
that
it is a
lady.
all the time work. I say it's a all the time work
Yeah.
because yeah, you talked about that being lonely and being like, my circle is not my circle anymore. Where I thought I was comfortable, I am no longer comfortable.
When you gotta go back and apologize because you thought they was the problem, but you came to see
Oh,
me and then I was like, because this what happened and this sound like this what you said? And they said, yeah, that's what I said. And I said, it was you,
I
thing.
did what?
And now you gotta
Or
call these people and apologize or not. I don't believe if it's not psychologically safe, don't call them. Just do better to make
you're
it look
right,
good.
100%,
But
100%.
if it is psychologically safe, you gotta call these people. That's part of your healing. You gotta let them know, hey, I have been blaming you for 5 years. It was me. Yeah, ugly. It's
Accept
ugly.
accept the response. The response may be, yeah, I don't want to talk to you no more. I don't accept your apology. I don't give a damn about what you're talking about. Matter of fact, you wrong. And then they may call you all kind of this and that. And you got to be like, I did that. I take that.
Oh no, you don't. Because if I'm
What you
your
gonna do?
therapist, no.
What you
Because
gonna do?
see, if I'm your therapist, I have already prepared you and I told you that they have the option to not forgive you. They have the option to say, actually, you piece of,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
do not have to stay on the phone. You can say, you know what? I'm sorry that I disrupted your peace.
Oh
We don't
no,
have
yeah.
to go back and
What?
forth,
No,
but we can hang up.
I'm not saying. No, I'm not saying you just have to like.
Nah, you ain't
I'm
got
not
to take
like
it
you
now.
can. No, definitely don't. I mean, I ain't doing it.
I'm not
But
either.
but that was one of the things I had to heal from is, um, just taking all the blame for other people's actions. If there's a balance to that, and I would sit there and let them tell me blah 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 blah. You ain't this and you ain't that, and I would be like, yeah, because I didn't do this or I didn't do that, and that wasn't healthy at all. That wasn't
Mm.
healthy at all. But now, I matter of fact, we might not. I'll do I'll let them know, and then I ain't got to hear what the response is. You can let me know if you want to or if you don't, because that's not the real. My thing is to do right by them and do right by myself by doing right by them, which is healing for me. Alexis Butler says this really is.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
oh,
Okay.
sorry.
She
My
said this
bad.
really is a great discussion. I
Thank you.
I agree, Doc. I agree, Alexis. Doc be bringing the heat. Alexis Butler says, just to clarify, I'm saying it really as a compliment because I know that's when I'll reveal the most sensitive layers. You always ask the right questions from what I see on the show. The realist.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you so much. Now I do be saying that though.
It was it was
It
you
was you, Stan.
stay. That's what I'm saying, Doc. And she
Look, don't be my client for more than 6 months because I'd be like,
you
Bookie, what?
you ain't trying to move away. We in the same place. No, it should be some movement by now. It should be some
Yeah.
movement if you're really doing the work. If you're really doing the work. And I did do. That's why I'm. That's why I'm adamant about bringing it to the forefront. And I just want to call people out. Like, stop playing.
They do be
Stop playing
playing.
that.
They do be
Huh?
playing. People do be playing.
They be playing like, no, I'm just protecting. No, what you did is you threw the rock and tried to hide your hand, and now you're gonna say, oh, no, I was protecting my peace. I got boundaries because people are coming to hold you accountable for what you did, how you acted, the way you're talking, the
Yeah,
results that you're generating,
all the above.
or the lack of responsibility for doing a thing that you maybe agreed to do, that you're responsible for doing. And then when things don't unfold in a positive way, you are pointing fingers and saying and not hearing the truth. No, you're a narcissist, using that word on other people,
So
calling
tired of
people
it. Y'all,
toxic.
it's not as common as y'all think it is. Oh my god. I just be wanting to like, ugh, like stop saying it. Like, have you looked up the criteria? Have you read the DSM? The DSM is the Diagnostic and I'm looking at my bookshelf Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. Have you read that? Like, stop calling people stuff if you have not read that. You saw one TikTok where the lady said, here are the 5 symptoms, and she was doing this.
And
And
they
you
was
was
like,
like,
that's the
no, like, stop. I get so upset. And then they come to session and they be like, I think my husband's a narcissist. He did blah, 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 blah. And they be like, and I'd be like, oh, okay.
not
You not,
okay.
they be like, you're not going to call him a narcissist? No, I've never met him. I would never diagnose anybody sight unseen. Never do that. Are you crazy? I don't say, are you crazy? But that's what I be thinking.
But that's what you be thinking. I got
Yeah,
you.
for sure.
Because folks will jump out
I
and
do
start
agree with
saying
you that like we went from stigma, like not talking about it, locking people up, treating them bad, to like now it's everywhere and everybody's using all
everybody
these
had.
terms. Me and my
eh,
friend, Dr. Atia Hodges, we
mhm.
have these conversations, and it's like sometimes I wish they had left that over there for us. Don't come to my session telling me what you diagnosed with and you've never seen a mental health professional.
So how do you handle that when they walk in the door and I have this, I am this?
I say, okay, tell me what that means for you. Or they'll be like, my anxiety is real bad. Okay, describe your anxiety to me without saying anxiety.
Mm,
Sure, tell me what depression means for you.
mm,
Oh, you have anxiety? Are you on medication? No. Have you ever had mental health treatment before? No. Did your primary care doctor diagnose you with anxiety? No.
mm.
Okay. Well, define your anxiety to me without saying anxiety. Don't say the word stress and don't say the word anxiety, and then describe it to me.
And I'm going to jump out. I'm gonna step out on the limb and say it is much more difficult to do that. And if you really have something going on, you will be able to describe it. And more times than not, people are not able to do it without
It's
following
about
those
50-50.
criteria you gave. 50-50.
About 50-50. It used to be people would get stuck, but I think now because mental health is so on trend and popular,
Hmm.
they've watched enough TikToks, YouTubes, whatever, and now they have like a list. And they're like, yep, that's me. I'm irritable. Yes, I'm fidgety. Yes, I'm. So now they got a list.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I really do have a problem with the misrepresentation of mental health and the support, like, shifting and redirect me if I'm wrong. Some of the things I was reading about talked about the shift from therapy as healing to becoming dependency. Like I gotta have someone to go talk to, and I mean, and I think it can be as simple as being in a space where you're comfortable um to share your feelings, your emotions, your mental state where you are. I don't know if you want to have a what they call an emotional dump or something like that. And that may be healing or therapeutic in itself, right?
Mhm.
But some can view it as a way to, like I just said, offload the emotions, rather than. But here's where I'm saying I think they're taking advantage or not really delving into it, because you'll go and offload all those emotions with your therapist, but you don't build any coping strategies. Now I think a good therapist will be like, okay, let's start working on those, and you can correct me on that if I'm
No, we
wrong.
do, but we can't. Like, I don't go out in the world with them and say, did you deep breathe? Did you journal? Hey, did you set your boundary? Hold on for a second. Did you do your tapping? Like, I'm not with them in the real world.
Right.
What I have seen happen or be impactful, because everybody comes to me and they want a tip or a trick. Do you have some tips to help me navigate anxiety? I cringe a little bit because
They have
true
that.
anxiety
Yeah.
it's not really about a tip and a trick. It's about management. It's about living a life that expands your frustration tolerance window. It's about living a life that has structure and routine. It's about living a life where you have identified like what increases your anxiety, how you can decrease your anxiety. Now, sure, I can teach you some breathing, I can teach you some counting, I can do these things, but if you wake up on a 7, you don't really have any far to go. Like if the scale is 1 to 10, you woke up at a 7. Well, you
Uh-huh.
stubbed your toe, you at 8. Well,
Uh-huh.
you was running late, you at 9. Well,
Right.
somebody slammed on their brakes, you at 10.
Right. So
We ain't even
are
got to
you
work
saying
yet.
they need to be self-aware of this in those instances? Well, because you talked about the breathing and different steps they can take to do that. And I think those are those are definitely, like you said, coping strategies,
They
right?
are.
And not to be confused with those coping strategies as therapists fixing a problem for the client or
Yeah,
for
because I
the
don't think
patient.
so. Like schizophrenia is a problem, but I
Yeah,
don't think that like
I don't
depression
think
and
you can
anxiety
fix
is a
that.
problem. I think it's something to navigate. I think it's an opportunity for growth. I think it is. I mean, like it sucks, but I don't know that I would call it a problem. I think I would say it is something that you need to be aware of and work a little harder to manage. And you can. People think I'm being funny, but like, what are you eating? How much caffeine you having? Did
Hmm.
you drink water today? Did
Hmm.
you move your body today?
Hmm.
Did you get some sun? Like, let's
Hmm.
start there. Like, you want
Right.
to tip, but you living off cold pizza and like Coke. Like, stop. Like, what? It's nothing I can do with that. Like, and I really don't be being funny, but like, you
Not
gotta
cold
start
pizza
with
and
the
hot
basics.
Coke. So why you got the pizza in the refrigerator, but the Coke just sitting on the counter? But never mind, I'll digress. Anyway, let me read the comments. Alexis Butler says the TikTok reference needs to be clipped and posted immediately. And I'm gonna say it like this: immediately. That's probably how that came out. Alexis Butler says people have the balls to tell you they have an illness that was never diagnosed.
Straight face.
Nah.
And listen, I feel like your perception is your reality. And what I have
Wait.
learned,
Uh-oh.
yep, your perception is your reality. And what I have learned when I was thrown to the wolves in community mental health, the more you try to tell somebody that there are not purple elephants in the room, the more they see purple elephants in the room. So I just need to know, are the purple elephants telling you to hurt us? Are they like what's going on with them? They just standing there, like, is it bothering you? Because if you come to me and you say, I have anxiety, and I say, well, who diagnosed you? You say nobody. I read about it. And I say, well, you might not even have it. Well, now you got an attitude. Now you want another therapist. Now you think I'm mean.
No, what you're doing is you're not helping them get that piece of paper so they can go to their prospective employers or prospective partners or groups or go out in society and act up and get out of doing things they don't want to and get sympathy, start so they can start promoting. um I think it will promote like what they call learned helplessness. Like I
So
can and I'm
I'm
not.
not gonna be
I
like,
I'm saying that they get out of being adults and being responsible and equipping themselves to handle difficult moments or things that make them uncomfortable. Avoidance, avoiding responsibility, and they do not. I think constantly doing that, and you really do not have an illness. It it prevents you from building the resilience that you need to have to, I think, to be a healthy, productive, functioning human being.
so I can do all of that and never tell them they don't have anxiety.
You can do
I
all of
can
that.
help them be resilient. I can help them stop avoiding. I can help them show up to work and stop telling you they need a mental health break without ever saying, you ain't got no anxiety. I don't this that's what they said they had. I don't necessarily have to treat them or show up for them as a therapist treating anxiety. That's just
Uh-huh.
what they said they had. But see, that particular client will have homework. Go look it up. Go get the definition, and then show me
Right.
how this has been in your life for the last year.
Right. Right.
So, like, that would be a homework that will end up on a post-it note.
So let me ask you this, because obviously, I mean, you've been doing it too many years. There's no way you have not run into individuals who, like you said, are just trying to hustle and get that on their paper so they can maneuver however they want to maneuver, or they just want to have someone they can probably do an emotional dump on, but they don't want to do the real work. Now, as a professional, either yourself or individuals you may know, or you may just read about this because this is your world, like the emotional and professional burnout for therapists and counselors, like
At an all-time high.
compassion fatigue. Yes, no,
Vicarious trauma. Yeah, what
increased
we
an
just saying.
increased workload. Now you're taking away from individuals who really need the help because I got to waste time and I didn't booked up, an hour or two sessions with individuals who are over here wasting my time and my expertise.
Yeah, but you don't really know they wasting your time. Well, I
Yeah,
lied.
you
I
see, I
know.
know. I would say, come on, Doc.
But
You know,
sometimes you don't really know till like session 3. But I am a very like, tell me what we doing, and
or
I can work with.
it might not even go that far for you. So
Yeah, like
you,
if you just need an emotional place to dump, cool. I'm gonna put you over here at the end of the week, at the end of the day, because at the end of the day gonna
mhm.
end. But at the end of the day, venting, venting is still therapeutic, right? Like
It
if you
is. It can be.
are
Yeah,
happy, healthy,
100%.
whole, and you are high functioning, but you don't have anybody in your life where you can put your emotions, I'm happy to be there with
I
a
got you.
payment plan in
And
place.
yeah, I will stop. I was gonna laugh really hard, but I'm gonna hold that one in. But
And paperwork, because people be oh my gosh, it's been like a rough 20 days to be a
see what
therapist.
I'm saying now? Because I think playing like when you do when you're burning out therapists, so you there's a lack of progress when you're there, which I would imagine would frustrate certain individuals who really are trying to help individuals, which is probably making what you do not as fun, or it may wear you out. It probably increase turnover. It's probably folks like, I'm just getting all of these. It's a 1-to-5 ratio. 5 folks really just burning me out with these surface level things. They're not becoming more resilient. They're not handling things, and they just want to do that every day. Because I'm gonna tell you, there is energy transference in that process, and then a high demand and being emotionally exhausted all the time. I know that leads to a certain level of burnout. And then if you keep doing that, and you just talked that it's only like 6 to 11% of minority therapists, we can't afford to have fewer therapists staying in the profession. We need individuals that will stay long term and be there and really help those who need the help. Yes, no, maybe.
I think that we need therapists to be there as long as they're able to be there.
Okay, something
Sometimes
you're saying
I am
something
saying
in that.
something.
What are you
I
saying?
am saying something. I'm
Okay.
saying sometimes. So I've been doing this for a long time.
Hmm.
Right. I seen people come, people go, people like bump this, I'm gonna be an accountant. Oh, I'm out, like whatever. But I think that we only need people in the field who
Who
want to be,
really? I got you.
but then also who have the capacity.
Hmm.
Because not the entrepreneurial therapists, not the people who own their own practice, because that's a lot too. But like the people who work in systems, it's
Hmm.
hard.
I got you.
There's insurance demands, there's productivity demands, there's how come your no-show rate so high, there's how come
Mm.
your clients ain't getting better.
Mm.
Like therapists who work in systems, it's a lot of demand. So
Understood. Understood.
figuring out how to be a therapist and how to be well is what we need from the people.
Um,
If you not well, if you tired, if these people getting on your nerves, and not the regular getting on your nerves, but the getting on your
no,
nerves part to where you start to do some harm, you can go and do something else. Think it's okay.
I got you. I can 100% identify with that. That's a good observation, Doc. Good share. Thank you. We're right at the end of the time. So on my conclusion, I'm just saying, I think there needs to be a balanced approach. I think mental toughness is essential for, personal growth, resilience, and an overall well-being. And I think individuals need to toughen up in that area. Do not waste the valuable, spirit, mind, energy of counselors and therapists. I'm not saying you can't go get one, but if you know it is not, you don't really have an issue, or you're using it for false reasons to avoid the accountability or being better, growing your emotional quotient to be able to handle just life, doing life being life, I'm saying stop it. I think the mental health industry must, I don't know about must, I would hope there's a way that it can reinforce the resilience building, rather than just the enablement. I already think you do that, Doc, because you take them to a place where they like, I don't, wait, I thought it was going to be so much different. I don't know why I changed my voice, but that's what I see.
I
I
was
think it
gonna
would
say,
sound
like,
like.
who sound like that?
And finally, I would say, before I let you, I definitely will give you the last word. I'm just saying individuals need to take ownership of their emotional regulation and seek help as a tool for empowering themselves and not to just be dependent. That would be my statement. Um, and I digress. And I hand the mic over to you, Doc, for your
All right, let
closing
me let me take
words.
us home. Okay, so if you have made it this far, shout out to you. Thank you so much. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a different friend that Perspective is happening on Thursdays, and we would love for you to be here. If you were shy and you did not drop down in the comments, it's fine. Join us on social media. We are the Perspective Podcast on Facebook. We are Perspective Pod on Instagram. If you contact us on Facebook, you are talking to Eric, not me. I'm pop in and pop out. If you contact us on Instagram, you are talking to me, not Eric. He pops in, pops out. So the people saying, slide Eric, what you doing? Hey, boo, take that to Facebook. Don't bring that over here on Instagram, because that is me. That's why I say that every week. Got it, ladies? Okay, all right. We definitely appreciate you all being here. Thumbs up us, like us, all the things. And my final takeaway is this: if you are struggling, go get help, flat out. If you think you might be struggling, if you feel off, if you feel anything, go get help. Help does not mean that you are weak. Help actually means that there is strength in your awareness to go seek help.
Bars.
We'll do this again
Bars.
next week.
Absolutely. Doc, thank you. To all of our viewers, thank you very much. As Doc said, please, it is valuable and we do not take it lightly. So please like, share, subscribe. If you have requests of topics you would like covered, please share them with us. Again, Instagram, you're going to hit Doc up. Facebook, you'll hit me up. But however, I will get the information to Doc. So
I be sharing the information.
yeah, any other information, like I'm going to, like, if you send something else, I'm going to send it straight to Jeff and I'm going to let you, and then you ain't going to like that. So y'all be careful what you're doing. I'd have done it once, I'll do it again. So warning, I've given you a warning, and the world doesn't even do that. So we've been more than fair. With that being said, we thank you. We value your presence. Your presence here with us today. We just claim that you have a great Friday, a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week here on Perspective. Bye-bye.